All right, let's chill. Let's hear what we got. So this is the World of Warcraft expansion reveal, number 3 on trending. Oh, we can't see how many likes or dislikes. I can't see how many likes or dislikes on here, unfortunately. Only 38,000 likes. How many views? 1 million views, 38,000 likes. All right. How loud is this? Is that good? Is it good volume? Okay. Guns, bears, Wrath of the Lich King, dragons, things, expansions, Sourfang, Sylvanas, Shadowmourne,
For the Alliance!
Anduin, not, wait, that wasn't part of the game, that's not, BlizzCon? Dude, I hope we get BlizzCon again one day. Of our adventure starts now.
For Azeroth!
Alright, whatever. No one cared, Varian, when you yelled it for Azeroth. Now we're yelling for Azeroth again. World of Warcraft. Let's go! Come on, show me something cool.
Hi everyone, I'm John Haidt, General Manager for Warcraft, and with me today are my friends Ian Hazacostas, who is the Game Director for World of Warcraft, and Holly Longdale, who leads up the production team for WoW Classic. I really appreciate you tuning in. I know we're really excited to be able to give you updates on what's happening.
Cool. Is that Illidan in the background?
But first, I want to thank our community for all the feedback you've given us this year, and especially our community council. You've helped shape and influence the updates that we've done recently.
That's awesome.
And what you're going to see
community
in
count.
the upcoming
I don't even know what the community's on the community council. I have no idea.
In particular,
what's up, Midnight Rider?
The story of the last 9 months or
That's
so
classic
of
lady.
this expansion is all about the community, and it's shaped by what we've been hearing from them, and us realizing as a team that we just collectively needed to do a better job of making sure the community felt heard.
We need to do a better job.
So that led us to the changes we made in 9.15.
Watch the video. It looks awesome.
Really
Watch all of it.
Examining some of the assumptions,
watch the whole thing.
foundations of World of Warcraft about things like character investment and mains versus alts, or how catch-up should work, or the appropriate role of friction in our systems. And I think 9.15 represented a step in the direction of letting players have more freedom to play World of Warcraft the way they want to.
I can't wait for this expansion to come out and all the systems to be really, really annoying. And then by the end of the game, none of the systems will be annoying and everything will be fixed. And then the next expansion will come out.
To play it.
Oh, you're in for a treat
really
then. You
built
better
our
listen to
Eternities End
this.
content update from the ground up around those principles.
What are some of the things that the community said that influenced your decisions for Eternities End?
Things like the method and pacing of acquisition of the Covenant Legendary item, tons of tuning, and I think every step of the way.
Doing this with an open mind, Jhaman?
We were listening to make sure that we were carrying forward those lessons learned in the course of 9.15 into Eternity's End and beyond.
So WoW Classic really came about because of the community.
Yeah, they continue to help guide and support us as Classic evolves.
World of Warcraft has always been about the world and the players that inhabit it.
What?
And we are in a lot of ways curators and caretakers of that journey and of that experience. And so once this Classic community formed and grew,
that's me.
We had to listen to them.
It's this tide of listening to the community and paying attention to what is a good experience for our players now. And where we really saw a sea change in this idea is with our Season of Mastery round, which is a Season of Fresh Start Classic. And initially we were talking about it like it was going to be like a fresh start.
Yeah.
Let's try this experiment in a season. It'll be about a year long. And then when the community found out about it, we started seeing this upswell.
Yeah, the team just took that idea and ran with it and turned, what started out as a small community project into this Soul of Iron system that became a centerpiece of Season of Mastery.
Hardcore?
A whole new opt-in.
Are they starting with hardcore?
That we've seen communities built around.
What?
Yeah.
Lots of,
That's us!
thrilling victory
That's
and
us!
painful defeat.
That's
5 hours. I made it 5 hours.
He's not part of it.
And it continues, like Burning Crusade Classic. We wanted to balance the Paladin seals between Horde and Alliance, so we made an addition there. We wouldn't have gotten there without the community's input.
So, influence the community, you've got another update, and pretty significant controversial change for this.
Yeah, cross-faction play coming in 9.25. which is on a public test ROM now as a big centerpiece.
Cross faction. Yep. You're breaking with a 17-year tradition.
Yeah, it's something. It was not an easily made decision by any means, and I think this is another one of those areas where really we try to take to heart community feedback and requests and ask ourselves as a team whether there's a way to accommodate such an earnestly held desire and still feel like we're being true to the roots of the game.
Who asked for
desire
who asked for
play
this?
with their friends who might prefer a different faction, or to play with the faction that they more closely identify with, even though their raid group is elsewhere.
It's really important for me. I play a lot of alts, and I love absorbing the story for each race, and having that ability to play with all of my friends across factions is fantastic.
At the end of the day, the battle cry is for the Horde. It's not against the Alliance. It's not death to the Alliance.
Yes, it is.
It's about pride in one's faction, and I think there's a way to preserve
all
that.
the good players on Horde. The faction balance is really bad in resale.
Players the ability to make the same choice we've seen the greatest heroes make time and time again.
I can't wait to do this. I'm seeing a lot of my friends that I never knew had a max level character in the other faction suddenly come out of the woodwork.
And then, with these cross-faction groups, many of them are going to be diving into something new that we're doing to kind of cap off Shadowlands, a Season 4. Kind of a remix, a bit of a greatest hits, revisiting all of our raids on
factions really? Factions are enemies in the world. Factions are bad people. Factions are people who chose wrong, okay? Factions are red people that you can kill for fun or get killed by, okay? That's what factions are. Factions are not fun, let's go have parties and hold hands. Factions are death. Factions are victory, okay? That's what factions are. Factions.
Bringing in some familiar older favorites into the Mythic
I didn't know
rotation.
that.
That's right.
And we recognize this is kind of a closing chapter, a little bit of a send-off to Shadowlands. As everyone gets ready for what happens next, and what will come next, want to give a fun new challenge for everyone to sink their teeth into.
Show me dragons.
Really cool stuff for Modern WoW players.
Show me
I'm super
dragons.
excited
Show me
about
dragons.
the
Show me
gear
dragons.
upgrades
Show me
you're gonna
dragons.
give me and the chance to go back and play some of those awesome raids.
There's a lot to explore. Very exciting.
For our next adventure in World of Warcraft, we're going to go back to Azeroth. We're going to a space with high fantasy. I mean, our fans of Azeroth for a long time. This has been kind of the foundation of much of the lore of WoW. So, without further ado,
Dragon D's
let's
recently.
watch the cinematic.
Oh, the cinematic. Let's go. The cinematics are always beautiful, though. The cinematic is always like the best part of the expansion. I get goosebumps just watching the Rat cinematic. 10,000 years ago? Wow, that's a big flashback. That's a long time. It's a long...
The world has been sundered.
Illidan says hi.
It cries out in pain.
The world's been sundered. Is this the Well of Eternity exploding?
We must go to its aid. We entrust our ancestral home to you, the Watchers.
No, that's cool. A stone man?
Dude, this story right here that we're about to see is better than Shadowlands.
Let the land slumber.
Look at that man. Titans out.
Even from our own eyes.
See ya. Wait.
You will feel our
Oh, look at
return
that. That's cool.
in the waking of the land.
Okay, bye. Sleep
Then,
well.
you must light the beacon of Tearhold. Lest the path home be lost to us forever.
What is happening? His name is Rocky? He should have gone out like this, though. His hand should have been up in the air if he was Rocky. When he, saying goodbye to the dragons. Now, 10,000 years? Looks pretty good for 10,000 years. Uh-oh. Oh, that guy doesn't have a face. He's waking up like, what happened? Yo, what happened to his town? The time when you overslept? There's lava. Oh, the cataclysm. The cataclysm happened, right? Deathwing was like, yo, fuck this place. I mean, screw this.
Family friendly.
French fry this place.
better.
Only this man can place his staff in the center of the pedestal to... Isn't there like a giant sword in the planet? Yeah. What happened to Big Sleepy?
He's fine.
He's playing Bop It. Twist it. Break it. This is awesome. Is he? Oh, he's about to put together with his body. Put the beacon together. Dude, hell yeah. He's about to break. He's about to explode. No. I care more about this guy than I did about anyone in Shadowlands.
I told you.
Don't die. Don't kill him immediately. No, he just bounces, right? He just bounces?
Yeah, he bounces.
Mommy Straza! Dude, she looks way cooler now.
Well, now she's in 4K.
Now she's in 4K. Is that Caligos? Rathian? Dude, they were ready, though. They were like, yo, did you hear? Yo, home! Let's go home!
The world is healing.
Oh, how to train your dragon.
But her fate is yet uncertain.
Where's Toothless?
Together, we shall be Azeroth's protectors once again. Here, the new age of dragons shall begin.
The new age of dragons. World of Warcraft. Cool.
Dragons!
Dragons.
This is so cool.
By the way, worst kept not secret ever made for World of Warcraft. They literally leaked it like a month prior, and we're like, oops, did we leak that?
No one saw it coming.
No one saw it coming. Carefully kept secret. But seriously, I mean...
They know. They do it on purpose. They release the information early on purpose. And then here's dragons. You guys want to talk about dragons? You want to talk about dragons?
What did we just see there?
The awakening.
You're the first person I've heard say that, and I think you're right.
Of dragons, the dawn of a new age. Right, we've seen Rathian searching for his father's legacy, searching for the Dragon Isles. There's a reason why he hasn't been able to find them until now.
The beacon going off, is that summoning the dragons?
It is removing the concealment that had hidden the Dragon Isles from the world, but also beckoning the dragons back urgently.
Now, why did that guy wake up?
In a time of need.
I assume pretty good variety of locales within the Dragon Isles.
Yes, the Dragon Isles, as kind of standard for WoW expansion, consist of 5 zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone that we'll get to in a second.
Can you talk a little bit about how the team found ways to thread the dragon aspects throughout the environments?
The Dragon Isles are a place that is lush and primal, bursting with elemental energy. As Azeroth herself reawakens, those primal forces are expressed throughout the environment, whether it's magma activity, volcanic activity, whether it's the icy wastes of the Azure Span, and each one of those has a connection to a Dragonflight.
Cool. I like that one right there.
And it's going to be an amazing
I like the
place
one with
for
the trees
to arrive at and explore.
Just glad we're back on Azeroth.
Yes, okay, so
every zone has
Can I
trees.
be a dragon?
let's start getting into some features here and what Dragonflight means for you as well as just a place. So first off, yes, we have an all-new
I like the zone with the ground.
The Drakthir race.
Yeah.
This is a Draconic race, but dragons in Warcraft have the ability to take on a humanoid form.
What classes can they be?
They have unique abilities as literally a dragon. That doesn't quite fit any of our existing classes. And so what we're doing is this is not just a new race, but it's also a new class. You know, adding a new race to World of Warcraft.
Yeah, he looks tired.
Race is something that we don't do lightly.
I fall down ladders. He looks tired because he's had to shoot that like 4 times.
Around dragons felt like the perfect time for it.
The new talent system seems great. The rest I'm a bit iffy on. I don't know what's that.
Drakthir can only be evokers. Evokers
finally
can only
for some
be
scalies.
And the reason why only a Drakthir could be an evoker is that an evoker is really
a dragon
combining the ability to call upon the magic of the different aspects with the unique physical gifts that a Drakthir has. The ability to actually take flight and do an Onyxia-style strafing deep breath over the battlefield, land on the other side, knock everyone back with a wing buffet, and then unleash your magical abilities.
Yes, please.
The evoker has 2 specializations. They're a hybrid of either range DPS or healer. And they wear male armor. We figured, you know, with the new hero classes we've added over the years, we have enough melee. We don't need more of those. And also probably don't need any more leather wearers.
No, that's true. They should.
Raid leaders are going to love you for that.
Exactly. This is definitely a hero class. And so that means that, you know, like the Death Knights before them or Demon Hunters, they will be starting level 58, and then they're going to have a new starter zone. So they're going to have a slightly different journey into the Dragon Isles
starting
as
at level
opposed
58.
to the rest of us that are sailing there from other parts of Azeroth.
Dude, I want that meeting stone in the background. That's cool.
Can you talk a little bit about the customizations? Like what is going to be able to identify my Drakthir character?
Basically anything and everything. You know, skin color, hair color, jewelry, tattoos, other adornments. You can make this character the expression of your identity in Azeroth.
New zone, new class,
yep,
new race. Well, tell us about some of the system updates.
Not about that, guys.
Of course, the new expansion brings with it, you know,
do you want to be emo black, emo red, or emo green?
In recent expansions, one of the things we've tended to do is really have these deep features that were closely tied to a specific expansion.
I could see you being a dragon.
Get left behind as we moved on.
Dragon.
And we've heard loud and clear from players that, you know, it's kind of a bummer to start off every new expansion by leaving a large part of your character behind, by leaving a large part of your progression behind. So this time around, what we're doing...
Did you guys see? They're pointing at a whiteboard. They had planning. They actually thought about this.
Doing is really pouring
stop.
energy.
Wait. What did they put on? Look, fantasy, bold.
Don't unpause.
Guys, look at this.
No, go back.
Fantasy
go
and
back.
bold. What goes back?
No,
what?
please go back. Look at that whiteboard on the left side.
Every new expansion by leaving a large part
and
of your
read the small letters.
The small letters.
Behind. So
yes, I just realized something.
Ducks? Question mark.
Yeah.
Okay, let's zoom in, team. Can we make this bigger?
That's a meme. That WoW has no ducks. This video is so fake.
How do I zoom in? How do I make it bigger? Enhance. Enhance.
This video is so fake.
So they have like, what is that? Like they have is that a duck?
This is a PR stunt.
There's a dragon with a bow and arrow sitting right here in the center of the screen. They're pointing at sticky notes. Okay, let's just keep going. They have a Wacom something going on the left side.
So this time around, what we're doing is really pouring all
so
of our energy.
We have in retail we make this much money per player, and with this one we'll make this much money per player.
Revamps, overhaul.
Wait, what did it say? Hold on, I'm sorry guys.
It's a good thing there's never like a strong wind, to blow down all those
so this time
post-it
around,
notes.
what we're doing is really pouring all of our energy
what did it say?
Into
metal equals 50%, papers 35%, cold 10%, and leathers 5%. What is that even? What are they doing?
That's professions.
Gold is 10%, not sold. Metal, paper, gold, leather. That's their clothing. Oh, their clothing is 50% metal, 35% paper, 10% gold, and 5% leather?
Permanent revamps, overhauls, and improvements to World of Warcraft.
It's going to take forever if we don't just keep going.
Things like our progression systems.
Gold's not a metal?
In this case, our talent system is something that we want to completely revamp. We want to take a look at our UI.
Did they say talents?
We want to take a look at professions.
So with the talent
Sorry. These background pictures are throwing me off, okay?
For progression systems, in this case, our talent system is something that we want to completely revamp.
The talent system?
We want to take a look at our UI. We want to take a look at professions.
This girl in the center is nodding her head, and the picture is also her with the exact same pose, nodding her head. She looks at the screen. He's got the it's the same pose.
We're never going to get through the video.
Yeah.
So
we'll
with
never
the
make it.
talent
I'm sorry.
and the arrival of Classic, did you learn anything about how
Classic.
our talents work?
That's us.
I think seeing a new generation of players play with those talents,
better
and work
version of the
through
game?
those talent trees,
Yeah.
really underscored some of the things that, frankly, we lost when we shifted to the Mists of Pandaria style talents and beyond. A big piece of that was some of just the granularity, the feeling of getting a level and spending a point to customize your character to make yourself a bit better in some specific way. But also, that sense of hybridity that you could have. That's something that we've largely lost.
Oh, that's
and so
awesome.
the new talent system avoids.
Whoa. Whoa, dude.
Directly pitting player power throughput choices directly against those sort of utility hybrid
audio
choices,
off?
because
I
we
don't
know that there's always a right outcome there. And we also understand that there's a lot of strength in the flexibility of the
That's a
modern
lot of
talent
talents.
system to let players customize their talents for a particular encounter or for dungeons versus PvP, and we don't want to lose any of that.
So John, UI?
It's like 1 second behind.
Oh my God. Yes, I got this 30-inch monitor trying to keep track of where I am on the map, all my buffs, and over here, what's going on in
Audio
chat.
sync for me? Okay.
It has literally made my eyes go like
Refresh the stream, buddy.
And you're not alone in that.
Whoever's
We've made a lot of
complaining.
incremental changes and additions over the years, but really this is a revamp. This is an overhaul. And so we're excited to really modernize the look and feel while staying true to the origins of World of Warcraft. Now, at the same time, we're not looking to take away the sort of power user customization there. Add-ons are still there if you want them, but we want a much better default out-of-the-box experience for all players.
I actually want a UI. I actually really want a nice UI without a bunch of add-ons.
If I want to explore the world and see the beauty of
Perfect.
Azeroth.
I love
When
it.
it comes to specific
I love
elements,
it.
as much
I
as
love
possible,
just a
we wanna
little
let
bit of
players choose what to
customization. Just
show
the
and
UI
what to
should be a
hide
little bit
so that
cleaner
they can control
at the
it
base.
themselves.
You mentioned professions.
I don't want to have a bunch of add-ons
I have
to
a
fix my
critical
UI.
question about this.
I don't want a ton of add-ons. I hate them.
Can I wear a shell?
I think my least favorite part about add-ons is every time there's a game update, all my add-ons go, I don't know how to play anymore. It was just at work.
Yeah, I knew it.
Our approach to professions in Dragonflight is really all about delivering on fantasy and identity as a crafter. And so if you want to be a serious blacksmith, if you want to be a great leather worker, we want to deliver the ability to invest time and energy into that, become a master crafter, be able to make items that are in demand, interact with the community. One of the big pieces that we want to do to support that is a new work order system to have a bit more convenience than just spamming trade chat all day.
Work orders?
But if you are someone, you're not yourself a
So I
blacksmith,
can
but
get
you
my-
have
I can get
a bunch
my-
of mats and you want them
my sulfur on
forged
hammer
into
made?
a great sword, you can put that work order up, list your mats, offer a commission, and a skilled blacksmith can come along and make you the weapon
Now,
of
we're
your
going to cut
dreams.
to you, and you're just going to
I think
go.
we left out one thing, though.
Yeah, interesting. Yes.
Be a Drakthir, go to Dragon Isles. Can I have a dragon?
What's the fantasy of dragons, if not soaring over the lands?
Burning
And so
everything.
We're really excited to
The fantasy of dragons is gold, hoarding gold in a cave, murdering adventurers and capturing princesses. That's what dragons are. They're not soaring. I don't care. They're not about flying. They're about being in a cave. They're about capturing maidens and keeping them away and keeping their hoards of gold for themselves. I'm a dragon. I'm a dragon.
Yeah, they're lizards, right? There's big lizards.
to introduce a feature that we're calling dragon riding. It's dynamic.
Oh, but there is
with,
dragon
everything
riding
from
movie and stuff.
momentum
That's
to
right.
dive bombs, the ability to
Oh, they're
just
revamping
build that
flight?
speed up and feel the world rushing past you in a way that should be much more exciting than traditional flight that we've made available in the past, but that's also available for players through a customizable dragon mount right from the start.
So
We're getting flying
this
from
is
the
a
start.
skill you learn
A new
over
flying
time,
from
right,
the start.
to become an awesome dragon rider.
Yes, you'll be able to sort of upgrade aspects of your flight, but you will have this new form of flight from the start. And the Dragon Companion that you have is, of course, very
just a
thoroughly
mage
customizable, which
holding
is
their
a new
gold.
thing for us for mounts.
Okay.
This is not just a generic dragon that everyone has, but a drake that is yours. You know, what do you want its scales to look like, horns, the
Do you
shape
get
of
new
its
powers
head,
if you
other
go with, like, a red or a
attachments,
black
armor
drake?
pieces, and more. Take your pick.
This is so cool.
This is so
yes,
cool.
the Dragonflight
Oh my
expansion
god.
is going to see
Hey,
players
people are gonna pay
leveling
so
to
much money
70,
for this. It's gonna
going
be
to the all-new
crazy
continent
cool.
of the Dragon Isles, which consists of 5 zones, 4 standard leveling
5
zones,
okay.
and a new starter zone for our Drakthir class, as well as a range of systems revamps.
Stand the way they look.
Such as
I hate the way the dragon
system,
people look.
An overhaul and update to our UI, and an entirely fresh look at professions.
I do like the way the dragons looked in the
before.
cinematic, but the
Also,
Drakthir
getting
look.
around
I hate the way they
Isles
look.
is going to come in the form
I want them to
of
be
Dragon
Warcraft,
Riding,
man. I
which
want
lets you
big bulky
customize and
boys.
upgrade your own mount so that you can fly in a sense from the start. And of course, as with any new expansion, we have a new set of dungeons, a raid, and much more to come.
We also have an alpha that will be starting up in the future.
Check out our website for more information.
In the
and keep an
future.
eye out for those opt-in signups if you want to
hit the
help
alpha's
us
coming
test out
right
Dragonflight
in the
and give us some
future.
more feedback to make it better.
We do have a deep dive that
Like the
follows
Dracoids
this,
and Blackwing
so
Lair? Yeah,
please
something like that. We
stay
way cooler.
around.
Big bulk
Classic
boys.
players,
You
we haven't
females can be
forgotten about
whatever.
you.
Be whatever you
You
want.
could probably guess where we're going to go next. One of the all-time
I want
favorite
that meeting stone.
expansions
That's
for
cool.
World of Warcraft. Let's watch the cinematic.
What are we talking about? Forgotten.
Did you think we had just begun?
No, Prince.
My king yet.
You're not my king. I can't let you do this, Arthas. Is this Rat the Lich King? But of your father!
My son, the day you were born,
It's probably
the very
Cataclysm.
forests
It's Cataclysm.
of Lordaeron whispered the name
Arthas. Say Arthas.
Arthas.
Oh.
When my days have come
Dude.
to an end,
This kid can't get better. I don't care about Stoneboy anymore.
King,
Stoneboy is fine. The dragons caught him. He's fine. Wrath is back. Wait, did I say 2022? So that's this year?
It's just
Dude, it's-
incredible.
it's like
July,
August.
Every
October,
time I
November,
see
December.
the cinematic,
We
I
got
No,
like
it's
7 months.
August.
It's
No
coming
pun
out
intended,
December
I do really
31st.
get chills. As you
Nah,
saw,
it's coming out in
Wrath of the
August.
Lich
Just
King
August.
Classic is coming this year. It brings back so many
Why not?
memories. When you see that
I don't know.
cinematic, what do you remember
Beta
from
opt-ins
Wrath of the
open?
Lich King?
Anytime you want to talk about undead
Season
frozen
3's ending in
dragons,
2 weeks.
How can you not go back to Syndragosa as the source? That was
Stop
the
talking
first
about dragons.
expansion I played
No one
with
cares
my
about
son.
dragons.
So I can remember on that platform, black goo and chunks of ice falling off, and having to repeat that battle with the Lich King. But
Wrath for
when we finally
September?
downed him, it was such an incredible moment. He jumped up out of his room, and I jumped up out of my office. We're like,
They're skipping Sunwell Plateau and dropping Wrath early.
So
No,
it's
they're
a
not.
very
No,
lasting
they're
tale
not.
for me.
Yeah, it's done well on
So
the
as
on
you
the
know,
PTR.
with this expansion, you will in pre
Yeah, so we already had
play the
PTR,
Death
so we're
Knight.
good.
They
We don't
will
need it.
start
We
at
already
level
saw it on the
55.
PTR, we don't need
You
it.
don't have to have a high level character to make a Death Knight. So everyone will be able to make one.
We're excited to give players some
Everyone will
time
be able to make a
before
Death
Wrath
Knight?
officially launches.
Wait. Everyone will be able to make a Death Knight. Straight up. Like there's no level limit. I guess they don't want to they don't want to do boosts, so they just let everyone who comes back make a Death Knight.
Launches to get geared up and ready to jump into Northrend with everybody else.
And there are so
That's
many
better than
zones
Boost.
and areas to explore in Northrend.
That's
And
way
I
better,
want us
though.
to talk
I would
about some of
rather
our
have people
favorites.
just make
for
Death
me,
Knights
Grizzly
instead of
Hills
Boosts.
has a very special place in my heart. The music was some of the best I've experienced in World of Warcraft.
My Death
I
Knight?
still make my way all the way up to Storm Peaks to try and find the time lost Protodrake, and have yet to get it.
I've got to say Dragonblight. The wide open nature of the zone.
I did like
Borderlands Temple
Dragonblight.
in the center.
Dragonblight's
of it.
pretty
It's
cool.
An unforgettable expansion. for
Although,
both the
nice way to tie in your dragons, Ian Hazakostas. Wait, music, audio.
division from one to the other.
Dude, this
Now
is
let's talk
Ian's
about
redemption
some
arc.
changes. So one thing we looked at is Dungeon Finder, and it feels like how we envision Classic,
Yeah.
Dungeon Finder is not a good fit for our community.
Like,
That
if he's
was
going to have
kind of
one.
the first step that may have eroded some of that social fabric.
Dungeon
Now,
Finder's not a
as
good
people
fit?
have gone through the experience of going back to vanilla, rebuilding those
Not
groups,
cross-realm.
relying on each other, not wanting necessarily a random participant just to show up and then leave.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
But today, you can do that in Shadowlands. You'll be able to do that in Dragonflight. It's a self-selected group of people who specifically want that different experience.
Yes.
Let's make sure that's what we continue to give them.
That
Wait,
leads
what?
right into arena teams. In Burning Crusade Classic, So we listen to the community and we remove that because individual rating is preferable and a better experience for them than arena teams. Also, with Wrath of the Lich King, Barbershop, which allows you to customize.
Wait, there's
your
no
character.
Dungeon Finder?
We're going to be adding a
Yeah,
few
why would you want
options
Dungeon
that
Finder?
were
Not cross-realm.
not existing when Wrath launched.
I
But
don't
also
want
there's another side
cross-realm.
of
I just
this
want a
where
Dungeon
we
Finder. Like,
are
Dungeon
not
Finder's
gonna
fine.
charge
There's
a
nothing
real
wrong
money
with
fee. It
Dungeon
was a
Finder.
paid character
It's just
No, you don't understand. They,
Yeah.
you're not reading between the lines. They don't know how to implement it halfway.
Game for gold, and we
So
add
you're just
more
not gonna
features
get
to
it.
It doesn't even matter.
It's sort of like spell batching in a sense. There's a lot of technical advancements.
The realms are so
and it's not about
big.
the philosophy
They're so
of what
massive
makes
already.
classic and what
Bro,
brings
no one
people
wants
together.
LFG?
It's just what's the better
No one wants
experience,
LFG, really?
And let's not
All right.
artificially restrict
not-
something that we can
I'm
provide
okay
a
with it.
version of
I just
for
it's
the
gonna be
sake of
different. It's
nostalgia.
gonna be a completely different game.
We're happy to say this is one of those cases.
I'm gonna have to
So,
travel to go to
Wrath,
dungeons?
The level cap's being increased to level 80, so we'll be introducing a level 70 boost so that players who
Oh,
want
great.
to get in
A
with
level
their
70
friends or
boost.
just
Great.
explore Northrend right away will be able to do that.
Don't
You
knock
can't
it. You
apply
might
to a
use
Death
it.
Knight, but you will be able to use it otherwise.
Why would I
And
boost?
of course,
I don't need
we
a
have
boost. Why would I get
conscription,
boosted
I don't
away?
think you're gonna level in time,
Actually,
man.
if they make really cool dragons or something, like that'd be cool if they give me like a Cinder Ghost set or something to ride on.
So we're really
What if you don't
excited
level
about
in
that.
time for Wrath?
Yeah, and as we continue this road to Wrath, we're going to be looking to getting a lot more feedback on beta, and we'll make changes as we need to.
Such an exciting time to be playing World of Warcraft. We have the return of the Wrath of the Lich King for classic fans.
Yeah, that's cool.
And taking us somewhere new with Dragonflight. We're so excited to be able to bring these adventures to you. Don't forget, there's a deep dive on Dragonflight where you're going to get a lot more information. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, and we'll see you in Azeroth.
And we'll see you in Northrend.
Do you guys want to
And
watch
the
this
Dragon
whole
Isles.
thing? Talents. Oh, I kind of want to see the talents. Weaving the story.
Hi there. Welcome to the Dragonflight Deep Dive. I'm Steve Denuser.
And I'm Taryn Gregory. Starting it off here, we're going to talk
Taryn Gregory, the man. Dude, Taryn Gregory's the man. I think he did a bunch of StarCraft 2 stuff.
about the setting and the story of Dragonflight.
We've got this great
Oh, that's really bad because StarCraft 2 is really bad. It ended terrible. Like the story started off really good and then ended horribly.
Isn't he the man?
He's the man though.
expansion, exciting pre-render trailer that everyone just watched. So let's talk about the setting for Dragonflight, the Dragon Isles.
Okay.
Dragon Isles have been known for a long time in Warcraft history as a mysterious place where the dragons came from long ago, but we never knew much more than that.
We're going to this place that is kind of the broodlands of all the Dragonflights, the place where they nested, where they built their civilization. The Dragon Isles was
Where they
the center
nested.
of the Dragon's kingdom when the world was young and the mortal races were just starting to form kingdoms of their own.
Okay.
But when the Legion invaded for that War of the Ancients, that sundering that resulted from the explosion of the Well of Eternity, broke the world.
Literal sundering of the continents of Azeroth.
And because of the breaking of the world, that magic kind of drained away and the land went dormant. So they had to leave the Dragon Isles behind. And as we saw in the pre-render, they left behind some Titan Watchers to look over the land. And when someday they hoped that elemental energy would resurge once again and draw the dragons home,
What?
reestablish their kingdom.
And that's when the message goes out to the flights and they feel it in their bones.
Now it's the time for the sky to light up with the colors of the aspects once again,
What?
and for Alex Straza and the others to come.
So you're telling me that none of these dragons were like taking a dump or like out getting groceries when the call came in? Like Alex Straza wasn't like, you know, taking care of something. She's just sitting doing nothing. I don't know, doing her and she just hears the call and teleports to the dragon. How did she teleport that fast to catch that stone guy? Does she have teleportation magic that I don't know about? Do dragons teleport?
Home, but
I don't know
the
the
land has
answer to
changed
these
a lot in all these thousands of years they've been away.
Isn't
And
Alex
some
Straza
very
dead?
old threats have awakened
Are
as
you
well.
questioning WoW
Looking into the
lore?
culture of dragons
power
as
of
they
love.
exist in Warcraft.
Dragons, as we know them today, were
Can't
very
question WoW
different
lore.
in the early past, the early history of Azeroth. They were much more primitive, much more savage. What we now know as proto-dragons.
And then some of the dragons were empowered to become the aspects. The green flight, red flight, blue flight, bronze flight,
Sword She died in
Black
Legion.
Flight,
That was
each with unique
Ysera, right?
powers, each with the ability to protect the world.
Spoilers.
in different ways. These pillars of draconic power appointed to defend Azeroth from threats within and without.
Dragons used that power both for good in the case of most of the aspects,
pack
but
of
also for
cats is
nefarious
killing me in your
reasons
chat.
in the case of the Black Dragonflight led by Neltharion, who would become Deathwing.
And what
Can
we
we mod
find
him?
in Dragonflight
What'd you say?
is that some of these
Can we
ancient
mod a
divisions
pack of cats?
run deep. And so it begs the question, where do we go from here? If this is an opportunity to reclaim their legacy, to be the protectors, as the cinematic mentioned, that they once were.
To do that, they're going to
So
need
the
the help
dragons
of our
look
heroes,
really
our
good, by the
players,
way.
to come
In
to
the-
the Dragon
in
Isles
the
with
cinematic, it
them
always
and
looks
face some of these reawakening challenges. Because it's not just that this land is peacefully waiting for the dragons to return and reclaim it. There's those old enemies that have awakened as well.
Yeah.
One of those being
Why? There's old enemies on the island of dragons. That was the perfect place that was waiting for people to come back and everyone was asleep.
a race of kind of elemental half-giants, the Jaredin.
The Dragon Isles isn't just populated by
I want to play a Jarden, dude. He looks awesome. Can I play as that?
dragons or just
Add
by
that to the horde, dude. Alliance, you can have the dragon people. Give me that guy. He
Jarden.
looks
There's also
awesome.
many other occupants here in the Dragon Isles have been here either just recently or for a while, including a fan favorite coming back, the Tuskar.
That's going to be awesome. We've got other
favorite.
cultures there as well in the Dragon
cares?
Isles. We're going to find out about a civilization of centaurs
I'd
that
care.
predates the ones
care?
that arose on Kalimdor.
Wait, centaurs predate the ones that arose on Kalimdor. Does that mean another person had sex with a horse?
Dude,
No.
don't think about
But
it.
there was wasn't that the thing? Like, it was a Princess Maradon princess. She had sex with the demigod Cenarius, and then they gave birth to Centaur, right? So
Go on.
it was the demigod Cenarius who looks like a goat or something. He looks like a buck, right? He's like a white stag, right? And then there's Princess from Maradon, who we're gonna kill this Friday, by the way. Theradros. Oh, it's Princess's mother.
Later.
Or
And some of our favorite characters that we've seen over the last few expansions, such as Rathian.
And whether he's ready to step up into a leadership
Look
role,
how cool
or
he is,
if there
Rathian.
are other alternatives out there that would be better suited to the job of being the aspect of the Black Dragonflight.
yeah, what about Ebonhorn? Ebonhorn's out there still. The High Mountain Tarn guy. He's way cooler than Rathian. He's like way cooler, just in every way.
One thing the players are going to be really
Princess
excited
the Reaper
about
of
this
Hardcore, the
expansion
most dangerous
is the
boar.
new playable race, the Drakthir.
That's right.
This guy thinks
And
we're
this
killing
is
Princess.
something that
We're killing
Neltharion,
Princess. She's
before he
dead.
was
She's going
Deathwing,
down.
before he went full crazy world dragon, that he put into motion.
Neltharion saw those primalists that were kind of breaking away from the aspects and what they wanted. And so, in those first experiments, he took the essence of dragons, their strength, their nobility, their wisdom, and he combined it with that scrappiness, that adaptability that the mortal races had. And he wanted to use that to create the ideal soldier in his mind, the Drakthir. Exploration is really one of the key themes of this expansion. We're going to be going to this ancient place that the dragons left behind long ago. So we've made these huge zones with all kinds of places to delve into and find little treasures and little secrets tucked away. It's going to be a lot of fun for players to be exploring these landscapes.
Wait, the dragon,
And there's
the
so
new,
much
the
architectural
new dragon
history
people,
and
the new dragon people are experiments from Neltharion, the guy we killed in Classic, and they're alive now. It's been 20 years, and they're coming to life. But he was not here because the aspects didn't know where the Dragon Isles were back then. But he made an experiment of the black people of the Dragonflight. Oh, this is before, and then they've been sleeping in eggs for 10,000 years. They've been.
how clearly aspirational
Yeah, now you're caught up.
was the kingdom of the dragons and how it lost so much. And the themes of trying to return to that, to
Not
try
confusing.
to find your legacy, to try to figure out who you were before everything.
Didn't all the dragons give up their power to give Thrall the dragon soul so he could Kamehameha Deathwing?
Went awry, but there's questions, thematic questions of What does it mean to be true to your legacy? Are we going to repeat the mistakes of the past?
The dragons have had to learn those lessons just like
they
the
got
warrior
better.
players have had to. And I think that's
Telling
one of
you,
the
man,
reasons
mod this
why
guy.
the dragons see this now as the time that they have to return and they have to step up once again as protectors of Azeroth. We're helping the dragons because the dragons have helped us in the past too. So by using the Explorers League and the Reliquary together, that allows us to delve into some of that history.
And when I look, upon the Dragon Isles and all of its visual
does look
splendor,
cool.
I
I mean,
get
it
so
looks awesome.
excited for the prospect of a
place is cool. I
truly
like it.
Azerothian adventure alongside Calicos, along with Rathian, Ebonhorn, with
Ebonhorn, he
Ysera's
said
daughter
it.
Marithra, as each one of them is trying to find their own flight. I am taken by the exploration and the potential for adventure and just new horizons within this world.
There's going to be old stories from that time past.
That's
that
cool.
history that only the dragons
I can't wait for the Onyxia raid. It's going to be really fun.
knew for the longest time. We're going to be able to explore that.
It really feels like just a breath of fresh air.
So now we're going to turn things over to some of our colleagues who will take you on that deep dive into the locations and the features of Dragonflight.
The locations and features of Dragonflight. Waking Shores and
Hello, I'm Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
I'm Josh.
Hi, Josh.
I'm Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
And I'm Gary.
Hey, Gary.
And we're part of the teams that are building the first two zones that you'll encounter in the Dragon Isles, the Waking Shore and the Onaran Plains.
That's beautiful.
The very first zone in Dragonflight you're going to come to
That's
is the
beautiful,
Waking
dude.
Shores. It's wild, untamed land. It's waking up around you too, and the elements are just going crazy.
The art team again has hit it out of the park.
You'll see like a
Dude, the art team in WoW is incredible, by the way. Except for what they did in the last expansion with the robot people. That was horrible. Maybe they knew they were going to maybe they knew they were going here next, so they want weird sci-fi robot animatron thing that they did at the end of Shadowlands.
lava mountain flowing in through the beach, giant proto-dragon swooping down, gobbling up members of your expedition.
We have such rife opportunities to show elementals rising up because of the crazy magic that's
I
flying
like
around.
elementals. Talk
The
more
one
about
of the things I love
elementals.
is just how you get to the Dragon Isles, right? So you're going to get on your boat in Stormwind or Orgrimmar,
Yeah.
and the first thing you do is sail between the dragon ruin architectures. The boats come right alongside each other. You can jump from one boat to the other and just start causing havoc on the other faction's boat.
For those who love
You could just your boats come like that, and then every time, and you could just jump across and start a world PvP fight on the boat as they come into the very beginning. Imagine, dude. Imagine if your entire server's on the boat and the entire other server's on the boat, but factions don't matter because you can play with them.
PvP. This is a great opportunity for War Mode.
It's free for
I
all
don't
out
get
there.
that
It's going to
part.
be great. But it's okay. There's an innkeeper on the beach, so that if you're in that situation and you don't want to be in war mode anymore, you can just hop out right there.
The Reliquary and the Explorers League are working together.
The Horde and Alliance are sending an expedition together. It's not the military, it's not the soldiers. This is the scientists, the settlers, exploring this new land. So it's a lot more optimistic tone.
One of my favorite things about the Waking Shores is the Red Dragonflight, led by Queen Alexstrasza, the
There she is.
Lifebinder. They have the
They got
mandate
way cooler art
of
for her.
nurturing and
She's not
protecting
wearing,
all
a
life,
slut dress
which
anymore.
means Horde and Alliance, Gorloks,
She got, cool scale
trolls,
dragons on
everybody. So they take that duty seriously. When the Horde and the Alliance come to the Waking Shores, they want to be there to help guide the people
loud.
through the new land and welcome them. But they're not the only one in the Waking Shores.
We have the ancestral home of the Black Dragonflight there too, which has fallen on tough times since Deathwing's descent. And so Rathian's coming over to the Isles with us, and he's going to try and come to terms with the state of the Dragonflight, which is a few loyal Draconids and Dragon Spawn trying to hold their ground. What can the future of the Dragonflight be if it's just Rathian? Because it's not just the dragons that are coming back to the Dragon Isles,
Rathian
but
and
also
Ebonhorn?
their longtime rival, the Jarden.
I love the Jardins so much. They're half giants that wield the power of magma, and when the Waking Shores
that
and
mean?
the Dragon Isles
Hey, don't
went
worry
to
about it.
slumber, they also
Family friendly.
slumbered. They're back
just
now,
giving you
and
thumbs
they are
up?
ready
Yeah,
to
thumbs
raise
up.
chaos.
Big thumbs
Yeah,
up.
they're
Oh,
massive.
okay.
They're riding giant lava mammoths.
I'm gonna do
parading
that when I
around,
see
just
people.
stomping on your face.
I want to
And
see
they
it.
were
Show me the
the
lava
enemies
mammoth. Don't
of the
describe
Dragonflight
it.
for
Show
so
me.
long. They fought against the Red Dragonflight, hunted dragons down, and they're really taking.
I gotta be honest though, guys. This new enemy race that they're talking about sounds way cooler than any dragon thing they came up with for the.
this opportunity
I wanna
to
play
rise
that.
up.
I wanna play the
As
big
Red
old-
Dragonflight have the mandate of nurturing life. They don't want to just stomp out the Jarden completely, but but they want to make sure that they don't have the power to affect those around them negatively, to make sure they don't go on a rampage and destroy the ecosystem that has been created here.
And so those are awesome things in the Waking Shore, but Steph, there really is only one right answer for the best thing in Waking Shores, right?
What? This is true. Ducks.
We finally have those webbed feet hooligans in our game. We cracked the technology.
Hey, Marco, look, ducks. They don't have webbed feet. That guy doesn't have webbed feet. He's got claws on his feet. That's a claw.
100% shoehorned in at the last second because of an Asmongold video.
You should be proud. Thank you.
100%.
It's going to be awesome.
Asmongold talked about ducks?
come right after the Waking Shore.
Yes, and how they're not
it's
in
so
WoW.
breathtaking at first glance.
The Onaran plains
really
are
important.
big, wide open plains. And the player is
Honestly,
going to
I'm
be
buying the
constricted
expansion
a little
now.
bit, and then you see this big contrast of a zone. We don't always get
I'm
that
buying it 'cause
opportunity.
they're
that
memeing so
cinematic
hard.
moment where the player can have a framed view when they see this area.
Come out and you got that postcard shot of the plains.
That's cool.
And then you see this giant fire proto-dragon breathing fire and a herd of centaur like harpoon down the proto-dragon and crash into the ground. And the first thing you get to do is go help them kill the proto-dragon. Like, how cool is that?
Who is Onara?
Onara is the wild god of the wind. And she's appeared before as like this big spirit eagle. She's the one who guided the centaur to the Dragon Isles many, many years ago. She blessed them, took their caravan across, and then showed them the plains.
How fun at the beginning of this expansion was exploring
The centaur look
culture
cool, though.
of the centaur.
The centaur are these mighty, awesome hunters that back
I
when
wanna
they
play a
first came
centaur.
to the
Can I not be a
Dragon
dragon? I
Isles,
wanna
they
be a
fought
centaur
the green
now.
dragons all day long.
Maybe a
Eventually,
duck.
they realized that
Maybe a
we're
duck.
strong, you're strong. Maybe we should stop decimating each other's people. We'll make peace. We'll make an agreement. You guys hang out in the groves, and the centaur will
I'd be
hang
more
out.
impressed with their idea of
in
how
the-
this place is introduced if it didn't mean more scripted world cutscenes. Yeah, when they were talking about like the first thing that's gonna happen is there's gonna be a giant proto-drake and there's gonna be centaur, and I'll be like, oh well, now when that happens, I will have no. I'll be like, oh, this is that scene they were talking about. Cool. I'm not gonna be like, whoa, that's cool. I'll be like, oh yeah, that's the thing they said that everybody sees when they first step in.
plains, but now the dragons have been gone for 10,000 years. And the centaur have come so far.
Spoiler alert, Jesus.
And they've been here.
Can I make an
and they've been
observation?
existing and
One of the women in this video says, I can't wait to fly around and play it. And my first thought was, wait, have you guys not played your own game yet?
Oh, well,
developing
I don't know.
their culture. They all came over as one clan led by the mighty Maruk and
Maybe they don't have
Tira,
time.
and
Maybe they're just
they
modeling
founded a new life here. So
They haven't
if
started
you
the
want to get
user-friendly alpha
across,
yet.
you have to follow their rules and their
They don't have a
traditions.
playable
you have to
version,
earn
maybe?
their trust. You are the first outsiders to
Maybe.
come in generations upon generations.
Or we're the beta
The
testers?
centaur might rule the open plains, but the green dragons make their home in the groves. And those groves are absolutely gorgeous.
And how great a job it is that we have where I can take all of this beautiful artwork and build these beautiful fantasy groves, high fantasy. We want to do lots of things with an open plain, and we want to be creative with that. But we're restraining ourselves by letting the zone sing, letting the horizon tell the story. We certainly couldn't have done that in the vanilla WoW.
No, definitely not. The
But you did do that, Vanilla WoW. You did do that. You did. You took the game, the horizon. That happened in Vanilla WoW. That's exactly what happened.
zones are so big and you can see so far, especially in Onaran Plains. So we talked to the engineers and we actually increased that distance.
It spurs you on to want to adventure and look through the zone and explore.
Like Tenaris, you're in Tenaris and you can see to the other side of Tenaris and you're like, what is over there? That's cool. What's over there? And you travel to the horizon to see.
Explore everything.
The interesting thing for me is we have all these conflicts with the dragonflights. There's missing dragons, there's battles, there's so much crazy stuff happening, but that's not really all we're doing. There's so much extra fun activities for people to do. And the greatest thing is that you need to figure out exactly what's going on.
I don't care about your stories. I just want to run around a place and kill things and smack stuff and get stronger. I mean, the story's cool. The story is a good backstory. I don't need, like, Skittles everywhere for me to find. I just need, like, just an enjoyable world to be in and, like, to explore myself and like find like this is the best place to farm leather and this is the best place to farm primal fire and here's the best place to do like I want to like get in there and see what I don't care about like, but I also don't want them to create an area for that, right? Like I don't want them to be like, hey, this is the best place. This is our primal fire farming area right here. No, it should just be like we created a world. You guys figure it out. That's what I want, but
all the problems that are just sprouting up everywhere.
We're just really excited to tell a story that's grounded in Azeroth and exploration. There's so much more to talk about. But now we're going to have some folks talking about the next 2 zones that players are going to experience in the Dragon Isles.
Azerspan and Thaldraszus.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kate.
I'm Christy.
I'm Kate.
I'm Sean. We're going to talk today about Thaldraszus and the Azure Span. So Azure Span is going to be the 3rd zone that players adventure through, and it's one of our biggest zones that we've done in the Dragonflight, maybe even to date.
We knew it was going to be like the largest visual elevation change, and it really started with this great concept art. When we first were taking a look at the design, we kept coming back to one of our favorite Wrath zones, which was Grizzly Hills. And we really wanted to take that, but wowify it more. And I don't know if you've ever been up to the Bay Area, but in the morning, that coastal fog comes in and dips down into the redwoods and that sun shines through. That's really what we wanted to encapsulate with this forest. And not only we have redwoods, but we've got all different types of trees. Eventually, it'll break open into this wide open tundra that's just golden and red, and you'll reach up to another level of elevation where you get to see the snow. The majority of the zone is covered in snow and ice. We have giant frozen waterfalls, ice rivers as far as the eye can see. And Sean, I know in the forest, we can expect our first creatures.
We have a small group that lives there called the Knolls. These Knolls are all throughout the forest and Azure Span. They've made this their home. Some Knolls with strange magic that we're going to find out what exactly that's about. Snow Knolls, or as I call them, the Snolls, up in the winter area. And then some regular Knolls that are just going to be around the forest area. So then we go into the big
Knolls look cool. Those guys look cool. I want to play a Knoll. Can I be a Knoll?
The Tuskar.
Those guys are way cooler than the dragons.
It's going to be really neat to explore their culture a lot more. And those kids are adorable. I absolutely love the Tuskar. Honestly, all my downtime is probably just me hanging out with the Tuskar.
So it's been a little while since we've seen them.
Your downtime better not be with the Tuskar. You better be modeling more stuff for us.
They're also getting a nice, cool upres for their models, along with expanding their culture. So there are going to be male Tuskar, female Tuskar, Tuskar kids. So we're going to fight alongside them, which includes help from a certain group of dragons, the blue dragons. We're going to follow the story of Kalagos, our blue dragon buddy from the Kirin Tor, and he's going to be adventuring into Sindragos' archives. It's a giant zone. There's a lot of surprises. When we're done there, we head over to Thaldraszus.
Thaldraszus.
It's really incredible because you will be going through some of the previous zones and seeing a lot of ruins for the dragon buildings. But when you get to Thaldraszus, everything is perfectly intact. It's beautiful. It's pristine. It is the seat of power for all 5 dragonflights and home of the dragons. It feels that way with the huge vertical mountains. We've got these great cave systems where you may end up finding little dragon hordes.
My favorite dragonflight right now is the Bronze. They've got a really cool area in Thaldraszus, and their magic is time. There's so many cool story hooks that we could dig into there. There's so many cool gameplay options. Story hook. And we have a little bit of an adventure for
time
players.
Travel.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's fun as a gameplay element, so you can go experience old stories and stuff.
One of the really cool
but as a story element, I hate it.
Be the main city and player hub for this expansion, Valdrakken.
You don't have time for it.
It is a culmination of all of the dragons' efforts to put together what a city would look like. So we ended up having a bunch of really fun small vignettes where you see that the blue Dragonflight is hosting a public library, and the red and green Dragonflights both have their own separate gardens. We'll also have some convenient services for players, including an auction house in the city, which will be really nice if you're looking for
cool.
more
There's an auction house
wares.
in the new city, like
The thing
Shadrath.
that really sold me on Thaldraszus was the initial concept art we got of Tierhold.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And this is a 10,000-year-old Titan technological marvel. Tierhold has these awesome aqueducts that actually come out from the structure all the way to the city across the valley. And in the cinematic, there's just this amazing shot where you see Alexstrasza swoop under one of them, and there's splashes of water cresting across her wings. So when players are flying around themselves, they get to have their Alexstrasza moment. What an incredible place, and filled with so much history.
Tyrhold was built by Tyr. He was a Titan Keeper back in the day who helped the Aspects fight Galakron. And when they settled on the Dragon Isles, he built this facility. And even though Tyr's gone, the dragons have held him in reverence. But that was 10,000 years ago, and they've let the Titans maintain the place. An incredible amount of history has happened since then. Lights have been nearly wiped out. There have been invasions, betrayals. Aspects have died. And these are the kind of things that leave marks on a society. So now they're all back here, and they're all here together.
As we were designing the zone and the city itself, we're trying to figure out, how do we tell those stories at the same time as making sure that this is a really convenient place for players to go and, go shopping, as they tend to do. So much adventuring happening on the Dragon Isles.
It's so cool.
As a player, you probably don't have your own dragon wings. You are going to learn the art of dragon riding.
It's so vertical, and I'm just excited to dive off the tops of towers and swoop under things.
It's actually one of the things that we're about to learn about next.
This guy's face as he's talking. Look at his face. I don't know why.
Excited to dive off the tops
he watching
of
the
towers
clock, you
and
think?
swoop under things.
It's actually
It's like,
one of the things that we're about to learn about
has he
next.
talked at all? Director Evoker.
Hi, I'm Jake.
I'm Andy.
Hi, Jake.
I'm
Hi,
Callie.
Andy.
And I'm Graham.
Hi.
And I'm really excited to talk to you guys today about the Dracthyr Evoker, our new race and class coming in Dragonflight.
We're here to talk about not only the Evoker, but also Dragon Riding.
You've got a lot to say
which is
about
our
the people,
exciting
but not about the
expression
things they're
into
saying.
the
Nothing they say is
exploration
all
of the
that
Dragon
interesting.
Isles.
We knew with a dragon-themed expansion, we wanted to let you play a dragon. Not a big dragon, Alexstrasza size. That'd be tough to fit into raids. I'm sorry, Jake. Okay. I know.
Fine.
But a draconic humanoid. So the Dracthyr, created by Neltharion.
And like our other hero
Callie,
classes,
okay.
you get to choose if you want to start on the Horde or Alliance side on character creation.
So let's talk a little bit about the Evoker, the class they can be.
I want you to guess their classes that they play.
What class do they play? She plays a
Yeah,
fire
each of
mage,
them.
obviously. She's a fire mage. She's got the fire all up in herself. The guy on the left, he is a shaman, absolutely. He looks like a young Chris Metzen. He's attempting the Chris Metzen look. He's got the earrings, he's got the goatee, the beard. The guy on the middle, on the right, the gray shirt, the brown shirt on top of it, the glasses, the parted comb over, he plays a paladin. He's probably a ret paladin. And the guy on the right, the very far right, he's
a main tank.
A rogue.
He's the prot warrior.
He's probably a rogue. He's like a shadow rogue guy, yeah.
Nah, he's the main tank.
Warlock? I think a warlock is
They
a
have
good
the
idea.
ability
Yeah,
to wield
maybe.
the magic of all 5
Nah, you're way
Dragonflights.
off.
So Evokers can take advantage of red magic and blue magic and bronze magic.
And to show that, we created a visual, what we call a prismatic effect. This prismatic effect is basically the coalescence of all their energy as they channel it into whatever spell that they're going to cast. You have a red magic spell called Pyre. So when you shoot it out of your mouth, it twirls in the air with all 5 of the Dragonflight's magic as it turns into the red spell before landing on your enemies and exploding and hopefully burning them.
I'll take that one.
Getting that vibe across that they use all 5 was really important to us, but we did want to make sure that each specialization focused on 2, because
she
casting
does a
5
good
different
job.
colors gets a bit messy. So their damage dealer
I
specialization.
don't know if I like
they're-
that. I don't know if I like that they have like 5 goes into one spell. Why not just have 5 different spells? So each spell is like, it's obvious, like, oh, this is a green flight dragonflight spell and this is a blue dragonflight, but each spell has to evoke from the all 5 and become, and it like the other parts burn off. It seems like wasted energy firing something that includes all 5 aspects. Why not just make it include all 1 fireball and then fireball? Okay.
The first of 2, devastation.
Doesn't really
This is
matter.
why you're not a WoW
on
developer.
Red and blue magic. Red being very fast
simple.
and explosive, burning everything with pyre, whereas blue is more focused and overwhelming. You can shoot a beam of energy out of your mouth to disintegrate one single enemy in front of you.
There's a healer spec called Preservation. The healer spec is going to focus mostly on your green and your bronze magic. So your green is going to be evocative of the Emerald Dream.
Time wizards, they're going to have time
your growth
healing.
and your nurturing spells. And then you have your bronze magic, which is going to be more timey-wimey. So you get to heal a wound faster.
So in addition to the visuals and the animation,
Heal a wound
which all
faster?
make
You mean
feel very
reverse
powerful,
time? Reverse
we really
wounds?
wanted the player to have a physical connection to the cast. We have a new type of spell called Empower. where when you actually hold down the button on your keyboard, it charges up the spell. The longer you charge it up, it might do more damage or hit more targets depending on the spell. But it gives you this really physical connection and control that's new for World of Warcraft, and I think is feeling really, really
That's
good.
cool.
We have some great
I don't mind that.
animations.
That's a cool
Thank you,
ability.
Andy, your
You
team.
love it, Andy.
You feel physical when you're casting your spells.
You can actually fly around the battlefield.
You didn't even
cast
kill the
while
mob.
you're Flying.
You didn't kill
Raining
him up.
fire and death from
The
above. It's
move
great.
sucks.
In addition to the gameplay, though, another part of feeling draconic is looking like a dragon.
Well, we talk about dragons
I want
breathing
that move.
fire, but you know what's actually fire?
What's actually
These
fire?
customizations.
Oh my goodness.
But no, they're really, really
They're
cool.
awesome.
Because you have both your draconic form and your humanoid form. And
the humanoid form looks
customization options
really
for
bad.
Both of them are
I really don't like
They're
it.
very good.
What about color? Just tell me you
tell
can
us about the
change
color. You can do a lot of matching. So your Visage form can have scales that are the same color as your Drakthir form.
But my favorite, super favorite part of customization for the Visage form, hair.
Yeah.
Because I can actually do this in game.
The three guys. Ooh, hair. Ooh. Yeah, customizing hair. We all have really short hair. We don't really care about hair that much. But okay, go ahead and talk about that. That's why we brought you on, though, to talk about hair. So thanks for doing that. You can talk about
The
it
Jack
now.
is here.
To talk about hair.
As players make their way through each of the areas of the Dragon Isles, they'll partner up with the Dragonflights to move through the air as they've never done before. You'll notice I did not say flying, because flight has a very specific meaning for World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it does.
And we're talking about something new called dragon riding.
And as the players are honing their dragon riding skills, they're going to get to see all new animations that go along with the different look and feel of the drakes.
Oh, cool.
We're aiming to shake up movement with this new system, providing players with a deeper immersion with forces like momentum
Standard human
and
hair
gravity.
variants. The
We knew
video,
that
yeah.
for Dragonflight,
Yeah.
we were going to have the opportunity
I was
to
like, oh,
show players
okay.
a whole new set of Dragon Isle drakes.
I'm telling you, this
completely
is the
unique
greatest
from
PR
all the other
stunt
things they've
we've
seen in
ever
World of
seen.
Warcraft. And so we wanted to
This
come up with a
whole video.
movement system that would add
They put a
that
lot of money
sense
into this,
physics,
the editing and
weight,
everything.
gravity,
It's
like
good.
you were mentioning.
This is a
We
good
knew it was
video,
going to take
but
a
this is the
huge
best
team
they've done.
effort, not just animation, but
Yeah.
it was going to take effects. It was going to take
That guy's working with a Band-Aid on his thumb. Someone can give him work. He doesn't have to work today. His thumb is broken.
the engineering team who we
How's
rely
this
on
been
heavily,
rating Mythic
and
Plus?
that combined with some new animations really helps to lend that feeling of physics as you move through the air in ways that you haven't before. And the icing on the cake is going to be some really cool effects that we've added on top of all of that.
So, like, does that mean their flying is limited? Like, they can't just fly forever?
So for example, when you start hitting, maximum velocity, you're going to see contrails coming off the edges of the wings. And then as you do your rolls and spirals, you build up more and more speed. There's going to be some screen effects on the display to
Oh, that's
indicate that you're reaching maximum velocity, which really adds to the overall kind of immersion and sense
Yeah.
of reality.
I like that you get increased
As
speed
players
by,
make their way
by
through the Dragon Isles, they'll discover new cosmetic options
Like
to
actual flight
fine-tune their
physics?
Dragon Isle Drake's
not
appearances.
just up, down, left.
Things like snoots, horns, tails, elusive Dragon Isle Drake armor,
Dude, that's
and
cool.
more.
Can I have spikes?
Definitely.
Okay.
We want to provide players with
That guy's
all
an
new
orc
skills to
warrior.
play
Never
with.
mind. I rescind my original. That guy with the gray shirt, and if he asks for spikes, he just plays an orc warrior, and that's all he plays.
As those who can use their momentum well can reach higher and higher heights.
Or a warlock.
And bring on new, more difficult challenges.
We just have so many
problem with
new
their serious
gorgeous
limits?
options
Cool.
to choose from, and I'm just so excited for all of them.
I'm excited for the whole thing. I mean, it's been a lot of fun to work on, but I can't wait to actually get in the game, play it with you guys.
I can't wait. I can't wait to fly around Dragon Isles. It's gonna be great.
Next up, you're going to hear about the talent revamp and the UI changes
Oh,
coming in
good.
Dragonflight.
Talents. That's really what I wanted to hear about. I want to hear the talents that they're doing. That'd be awesome, dude.
Hello, my name is Brian.
I'm Crash.
Dude,
I'm
Brian is jacked.
And I'm Laura. We are very excited to share we are finally revamping the WoW HUD UI.
And it is also time for a major revamp to talents and specializations.
I have a big question for the group. How long do you think it took for us to finally revamp the WoW HUD?
My guess is like 15 years.
Close, 18 years.
18
She's a feral druid.
You know, technology has changed a lot since we made
She's
the
wearing the
UI
druid
back
shirt.
in 2004. Now you have like bigger
That's a cool shirt. I want
monitors,
that shirt.
and us, we have better dev
That's really
tools to
cool.
work with. So it makes sense to have the revamp right now. Also, if you look at the game today, the art evolved beautifully over the years. And if you look at the HUD looks like it got frozen.
Damn, I wish I worked there.
Dude, that is a cool HUD. I actually don't think the HUD looks that bad. Like they're talking about, the HUD. Do you see the HUD? It's kind of. Like, it's not that bad, but it needs the ability to customize it.
So when we approached this, we wanted to create a layout experience that players could customize, move things around,
HUD's
adjust
pretty
it to
bad.
fit their needs.
You think so?
Add-ons today, they do a lot
It's just
for
old.
player
It looks like something
customization.
out
The
of
downside is that not
2004.
everybody uses them. It's about time that everybody has the opportunity to use them, that they become a part of the base UI.
Yeah, and we are working very closely with our user research team to make sure we are hitting the goals that our player needs.
It allowed us to add new functionality to improve
We
accessibility
need more action
in a lot
bars
of
because
areas.
we have more
And
forms.
on top of that, we are going to be improving the art.
Yeah, so the art update, it's a big part of this project. The UI that we have today has
She had
a
a cool
lot
accent.
of charm and personality, and players have been using that for 18 years. So with that in
Dude,
mind,
the artist
we wanna
team
respect
is the real
players who really
heroes,
like
wow.
the current UI, but do a more
100%.
removing the clutter and giving more visibility for your gameplay. So the new minimap, it looks bigger, and the health bar is also much bigger. If you look at the action bars in the bottom menus, they have less head frames, and you can really open up your gameplay. So
Yeah.
you don't have a lot of your UI in front of you. And of course, we want to find iconic pieces from the current HUD, but we want to bring it back in a nice way. So we for sure updating the Griffins. They look so nice now. And the Horde, don't worry, we got you. We're going to have your version as well. So let's talk about the edit mode.
We are putting a mode in that will let players move various HUD elements around on the screen.
So I'm able to move the mini-map, say, from the right corner all the way over to the left corner, or if I want to bring my action bars from the bottom and kind of...
I want to be like, if I want to put my UI in front, the center of my screen, if I wanted to combine everything on the front and just do a terrible job, is that possible? Yes. Okay, cool. That's cool
put
customization.
more in the center by my character. Those are all things that I'll be able to do.
Absolutely. And each of those different components will have various sets of options that you'll be able to work with. They'll be able to save it, edit it, copy it, name it. Also, it'll remember which spec you're in. So if you're someone who jumps around a lot, as you switch, it will switch to whatever HUD layout you have for that spec.
This is an ongoing project. We're going to keep working on
Cool.
it. So we really want to hear back from you.
Talents.
A project that we're all excited about that
talents.
we've been collaborating a lot on is something that's pretty UI
Now turn around
intensive,
and nod your
that's
head.
the talent system.
It hadn't changed in a long time, like you said before. And we really started with, how can we have players have more choice over what their character has?
As you level up, we give you a new spell or a new ability, something that kind of makes you stronger, but it's determined by the designers. We decide the order.
Yeah, we started looking for a system that would give players a much wider set of options.
And after looking at all those things, what we really returned back to was the idea of trees. But it's actually two trees. We have a class tree that offer different class utility, and then we have a spec tree that is focused on performing your role, whether that's damage, tank, or healing.
Okay, so you choose restoration, and you get a base tree and your restoration tree.
I just jump in.
So you can't be a restoration druid with points and balance, right? You can't have like the original, what we have now in Wrath is coming. We're gonna be able to be like, I can go 30, 30, 30, right? I can go all my points and I can just put them across the board, all three specs. I'm a hybrid wackadoodle doing nothing well, but I got everything. I can do whatever I want. Ah!
And say that I personally am super excited about having trees come back. There's a big nostalgia hit for me.
As we said, we have these two trees because we feel like picking a specialization is a really important part of your World of Warcraft character now. And
I
so
don't like that.
we want to make sure that when you choose that, it kind of affects the tree in some way.
Yeah, as soon as you open your talent tree, you'll see something new. The class side will have some abilities filled out for free, just kind of starting you off in that spec you've chosen, but then you'll have your first point to spend in the class tree, which could be something related to that spec or role, or it could be something from elsewhere in the class.
There's a lot of things that we can do here, and part of that is encouraging players to perhaps make combinations that they've never really been able to see in the game before. This is an opportunity to put a lot more art and fantasy in the actual talent UI itself.
You have seen that a lot through most recent expansions, but not at the base UI.
We want you to be able to tinker with it. You know, we want you to be able to make a lot of changes at a lot of times and not necessarily have to commit. The power really is coming back to the player. It's not something we want people to feel locked into, and so one of the things that we'll be preserving is the ability to change these talents at the same kind of frequency that you do now.
Yeah, the old school players, when you see trees this time, just think, yeah, I'll go from my raid night to my arena match and figure out what I think is the best for both of those.
And that's a process we want to make really fluid. So we're building a save load feature that lets you create your build, name it, save it, and then load it up very quickly and freely.
Talents were really about the breadth of options. We've made all these different cool things over the years, but when are they at their coolest? It's when players can hold the building blocks of what can make up their class, their spec, and put them together in a way that works for them.
I agree with that, absolutely.
These are really cool features that
I want my character to be what I decided was cool, not necessarily just like this is the best option, boom, you go. I want to be like, well, maybe I'll try a lava burst flame ball spec, and everyone's like, that's terrible. Nobody wants to do a fishing pole shaman. No one thinks that's good. But I'll get all the talents for fishing pole shamans. Like, okay, like why are you doing it? Because I'm crazy. I want to do it. And okay, cool. Like, I want my character to be built by me. From whatever crazy wackadoodle thing I'm deciding to do, I want to be able to do weird stuff, and I don't want to be like, oh, okay, well, here's your talents, and this is cool. I like this. It's talents.
We've been working long and hard on, and we're very excited about them. And it's just an early preview of the things we've been doing. We can't wait to see the reaction that you have.
Yeah, I don't see anything about the hybrid thing that Ian said at the very beginning that talents would allow for a hybridization, right? But the talent tree UI they showed just now shows a very limited idea of definitely not the hybridization of here's your enhanced tree and your balance tree, or your balance is a different spec, but enhanced and elemental, which are two different shaman specs, and you could play with both. This one's here's your shaman tree and here's your enhancement tree, and you can play with both. But if you go elemental, you get the shaman tree and an elemental tree, and you can play with both. But you can't shaman, elemental, resto, enhancement and put whatever you want, right? It's just it's a little bit more limited, but it's still, I mean, I'm not going to do poo-poo it, downplay it.
Please reach out to us and let us know your thoughts on them. And next up, we're going to talk about professions in Dragonflight.
All right, professions in Dragonflight. 1.4 million views.
And we're going to talk about our plans for professions in Dragonflight. Professions have been a staple of
the best PR stunt they've ever done. It's like a mini BlizzCon.
Incremental updates over their life.
Yeah, but BlizzCon's way better because we actually get to see other people that play this game.
But for Dragonflight,
that's why they showed us the people in the beginning.
We really want to rethink professions and figure out how to make them part of your identity as a player, if that's what you want.
We really want to make sure that professions feel fun and relevant across all levels of gameplay.
That brings us to our first update, something that we're calling crafting orders. If you want to have something crafted for you, but you don't have the skill or the right profession to do it for yourself, you can have it crafted through a crafting order. You can basically browse any of the recipes that can be crafted, pick the one you want for yourself, and then you include some or all of the reagents needed for the recipe, including ones that only you can get your hands on. You can find someone in person to do it right in front of you for you, or you can also go to an NPC and using an auction house-like interface, send the order out. If you're doing this, you can.
There's all three spec choices in the class tree, though.
A public order.
So even
or do you want
in the class tree, though? So even if you're elemental, you can maybe go one improved healing wave or something in the class tree. Okay, yeah. All right, sure. I got you. So the class tree is a more generalized hybridization tree. You can choose whatever you want, and then the elemental tree would be, your only lightning and bolts and damage abilities, right?
You want to only send it to your guild. Or to a specific other player. Maybe it's a friend who will be able to craft the item really well for you.
If you are really dedicated to your craft, you're going to be the best at what you do.
One of the coolest things about this is the item you had crafted can also be soul-bound. In the past, you could only get your hands on crafted soul-bound items by having that profession yourself. Now anyone can have them crafted for them, which is really neat and really expands the number of items that we can.
Yeah, that's cool. The fact that they can make it a bind on pickup craftable item, so you can craft it and then give it to them, and it's bind on pickup for them when they pick it up, right? That's very cool. That's definitely something they couldn't do before, because the limit was the crafter would make it and then it would be bind on pickup, and they'd be like, oops, sorry, I can't give this to you because I have it in my inventory. Now it'll be made and immediately transferred to the other person's inventory, bind, and they can't give it to somebody else. So then there's a very much allows for a lot more. Like they said, the really fantasy cool of being a crafter. You can now craft things for people.
Your client base.
They can't just go on the auction house and buy the purple shoulders.
Best at making it,
they have to go
find
I want
a
trading booth.
Extra.
What's that?
I want a trading booth.
A trading booth? I want to build my own. Hey,
yeah, imagine the cities with trading booths everywhere.
Hey, you want to buy a sundial?
Also going to be leveling up your profession.
Arena carries.
Really great.
So the first time
Mythic Plus.
you're going to notice a lot of different things. But probably the biggest is the introduction of quality, both to your crafted items and your gathered reagents. Quality works in a pretty simple way. If you craft something that's a higher quality, it's just going to be better. For a piece of gear, that probably means a higher item level. If it's, for instance, a potion, that might mean a more powerful.
Now, how much gold do the craftable items cost to buy from the auction house? Because
put a lot of work into it to make sure that the professions feel
one WoW
really
token.
special.
I don't want to buy any more WoW
and
tokens.
Another thing you might notice in the crafting UI that's new is
that's my biggest problem with retail is like buying the legendary items at the beginning of the expansion. It was like 300,000 gold for a legendary. And I was like, I don't have 300,000 gold. How am I supposed to get 300,000 gold? And they were like, oh, just buy a WoW token. And I'm like, well, I don't want to buy a WoW token. And now I have to go farm it for 8 hours? What, you want to go farm for 8 hours to get 300,000 gold?
Of stats, specifically to your professions, both.
Crafting market's a great idea, but it sounds like there'll be even more grinding.
Sort of major input
I mean, if
quality.
you make grinding, if you make like herbalism and mining and all that really cool and lucrative to do, that'd be cool. I'd love that to be able to be like, oh, there's a work order. Let me go buy some copper ore. Make a copper axe for this guy. Boom,
with
get some money.
Dragonflight, you can go out and earn specialization points in a whole bunch of different ways. So maybe you find an old book on a bookshelf in a ruin somewhere, or a hermit in a cave who can teach you a little bit about your profession. So let's say you're a blacksmith. You might decide that first you want to become an armor smith. And the more points you spend in armor smithing, the better you're going to get at crafting all armor.
This also means that if you specialize one way, other people in your guild may specialize in a completely different path. So
Okay, that's cool. I like the fact that you choose something and you're locked out of the other thing. That's a way to feel like you've made an identification
really
choice.
Now that reminds me of...
As long as one of the choices is not just better than the other ones for like, I'm an enhancement shaman. All enhancement shamans are blacksmiths, and they go weaponsmithing. That's all you do. You never go armor smithing, enhancement shaman. You're like, okay. Well, I mean, but that happens right now. That happened with TBC, and I was okay with it, with making a weaponsmith paladin, and ret paladins always get the sword. Whatever. Like, it wasn't even like an RP aspect of it. It was like, this is the best. You have to do this. You have to be a weapon crafter because you get the Lionheart champion in tier 4, and it's the best. It's the best thing until SSC Tempest Keep.
Another update, we're actually adding crafting tables to all the different crafting professions. We're going to take those and we're going to put them all in the main city of Valdrakken. And you're going to go in there and you're going to get to see all the different players crafting their items at their cool crafting tables.
Yeah, it means you're going to walk into the city and you're going to see like all these alchemists huddled over here, and you're going to see all these blacksmiths over by the forge. There will be other players filling orders or grabbing orders.
Cool.
There's going to be a whole new crafting area that's going to make you feel really part of the world.
It just seems like a much more lively area than it has in the past.
What I'm most excited about, though, is the gear.
I want
We're
that
introducing
meeting
new
stone
types of
behind
gear
them.
for every profession, and when you go to, say, mine a node, you're actually going to just switch into that gear. It's going to be really great.
You're not going to have to carry that stuff around in your backpack anymore. There's actually going to be dedicated slots for each of your pieces of gear. But I'm a numbers guy. I love progressing. All pieces of profession gear will have those special stats that we mentioned before on them. And as you get your hands on better versions of the gear, it's really going to help you get better at your profession.
I can't wait.
Thank you for tuning in to the Dragonflight Deep Dive.
You've heard a lot about the content and changes coming in Dragonflight, and we've got a lot more in store for you in the coming months.
Until then, we'll see you in Azeroth.
Cool. That was cool.